Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. So I'm going to wait and see if a few people show up before we begin. But as you can see from the thumbnail, the topic of discussion today is going to be my favorite Prepoo, scalp exfoliants, and clays. Now, there are going to be a few things that I don't have personally with me, just simply because I use them already, but I want to discuss them anyway because I loved using them. So we're going to get into that and just talk about the importance of using each in your hair care regimen based on what your hair needs are. Hello, Susan and Teresa. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. And remember, if you guys have any questions along the way, to leave them in the live chat. I'll be able to check them out throughout the conversation, and I'll be able to kind of just focus on this first and then answer any questions that you guys may have. But since we're on the topic today of pre-pooing, scalp exfoliants, and clays, let me know in the live chat if you've ever tried any of them before. If you're curious about using them, we'll definitely dabble in that today. And hello, Stephanie. How are you? Thank you so much. Had to look cute for you guys. I bought this dress last summer and it had the tag on it, never wore it. And I needed somewhere to wear it. So wearing it for you guys. A little something, something. Hey, boo. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. So let's just get into it. First, I'm going to break down the benefits of using these things in your natural hair regimen, and then I'm going to go in with the recommendations of what I personally love. Hi, Hair Evolutions. Thank you guys so much for coming through. I miss your face too. That's what I love about the YouTube lives. You kind of get to interact with people on a different level, so I'm really happy to be able to do this. So pre-pooing. I know for me, when I started my natural hair journey, going back to my natural roots, I did not know anything about Prepoo. I was like, Prepoo who? Not until I did my third big chop did I really realize what Prepoo is involved, what is involved in Prepoo, and what to use that will be beneficial. A lot of people Prepoo differently. It depends on how your hair reacts to it, what your hair needs are. Some people pre-poo with just water and oil. Some people pre-poo with like a rinse out conditioner. I've done that in the past. But I found that, I don't know, what I'm going to recommend to you is a lot better, in my opinion. I've tried it before, just doing oil and water. It's not a terrible thing. But you do want to use a product that is going to give you the most maximum amount of slip. There's not much tension being put on your hair either. But again, you know your hair, you know your texture, and what will work best. This is pretty much universal, these products that I'll be recommending, that almost anybody can use no matter what texture your hair is. And we'll go from there. So pre-pooing is essential, being that it preps your hair prior to shampooing. It reduces the amount of shedding that you have in your wash week, and it adds moisture to your hair, and so that your hair doesn't feel stripped after cleansing it. A lot of people experience that waxy feeling on their hair after shampooing. And that's where shampoos are important. If you didn't catch my live from a couple of weeks ago, I talked about some very good moisturizing shampoos as well to use. But I mean, at the end of the day, the shampoo is kind of getting that, build up off of your hair. So you are going to feel a little bit of stripping, but to avoid your hair feeling super dry, the pre-pooing is really good. It helps your hair to feel soft and renewed after just being stressed throughout the wash week. Also, when we talk about clays, the importance in clays is to reset your curls. And Teresa, I know we talked about that yesterday in your curl class. It's really beneficial in just resetting. I mean, you're week after week or every other week, you are using products on your hair constantly, and it's kind of choking it. It's like it can't breathe, it can't flourish, it can't do anything. And you also are not able to see what products are working for you and what isn't when you have too much of that buildup on your hair. So clays are really good in resetting your curls. Now, there are different kinds of clays. You know, there's the bentonite clay, which we're going to get into a little bit later. There are some that are moisturizing, some that are just kind of really good for clarifying on its own. Now, these clays that you use can also be a replacement to your Prepoo, meaning I feel like a reset for your hair should be done at least every 4 to 6 weeks. When you do that, you're again allowing your hair to breathe and kind of just incorporate and really take in moisture that you're putting onto it. So every week when you Prepoo, once you get to like that 4th, 5th, or 6th week, then you replace the Prepoo with the clay mask. And so that's going to be like prepping your hair before you shampoo it. So just keeping that in mind. The clay masks are not something that you should do every single week, but something that you do every 4 to 6 weeks. And then now when it comes to scalp exfoliants, these are really great for people who suffer from dandruff, dry scalp, psoriasis, seborrheic dermatitis. Those are good things to incorporate, and even just regularly. Some people with those scalp conditions may use it a little bit more often than a normal person, but I know someone like me who has dry scalp like almost all the time, it is definitely a benefit. I haven't repurchased one in a while, but I do want to start incorporating that back into my hair because my hair did like it. So it is definitely something to incorporate if you suffer from any of those scalp conditions. But this helps to gently lift any dead skin that is on your scalp without any irritation, and it leaves your scalp relieved and clean, which almost all of us want. This is very key to healthy growing hair, because a lot of times we're just like, oh, how do you grow hair? How do you get it thick? How do you get it long? It starts from our scalp. That's where our hair is growing. And so if you have product buildup or there's a lot of stuff going on in that scalp or dead skin, it doesn't have room to move, to be free. So it's very, very important. Yes, clay is a reset. I mean, I don't know where I was in life, but when I did that clay mask, my hair, my goodness, it just, you had so much shine. You were able to just see the elasticity of your curls. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. But I just wanted to kind of preface what we're going to be talking about, why it's essential to include in your hair care regimen. And now we're going to get into the recommendation part. So I'm going to start with Prepoos in its first, and then we'll get into the clays. So the first Prepoo on my list here that I am addicted to, all three, I have 3 Prepoos here that I love so much. And each of them brings something different to the table. I can't personally say one is better than the other. Some have a lot more slip, but it really is going to depend on how your hair reacts to the product as well. But I personally feel these 3 are holy grails right here. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot more, but we're trying not to be a product junkie, because anybody that knows me, I have a beauty supply store here. So I'm trying to slow down on that. So first and foremost, and you guys have probably seen me do a video. I do have some videos on some of these products that you'll see in my YouTube. I'll try to link them in the description so you can check out, so you can see it in live action. But this one is my absolute favorite. This is the Nature's Little Secret. Let's see. My ring light is playing games with me here. Sorry, guys, but it's the fenugreek Prepoo. The consistency is everything, okay? I love it. It smells like cinnamon to me. It's very natural. It's very lightweight. It's not something that's going to irritate your scalp if you're very sensitive to fragrance. It's very great for natural ingredients. Like fenugreek is really good for your hair. Now let's just kind of go into the key ingredients in this product. So you have fenugreek, Irish moss, comfrey root, aloe vera, sweet almond oil, and peppermint oil. So the slip game, like I said, is really good in this product. Your hair, if it's completely tangled, like if it is a matted mess, this will work through those tangles without feeling like you are pulling or like ripping through your hair once you get to like that week or more state. And the fenugreek that's in this product, it stimulates blood flow to the scalp and nourishes your follicle. It's also an anti-inflammatory ingredient, so that can help with dandruff and scalp irritation. The Irish moss helps to soothe your scalp, strengthens your hair, and restores shine to hair fibers. So Also, all great things that you need in your hair after a wash week. You need that rejuvenation to your hair, and that's why pre-pooing is so important. And so I love the ingredients that are in here. They're very natural, very easy to understand in the ingredient list, and definitely my number one recommendation for a pre-poo. So the second one that I love as well, like trying to like spread them out between the three so I don't finish them up, because this is actually a product that is not, she kind of does it seasonally. She doesn't have it out all the time. So I was trying to, not use it too much. But just also too, I'm just going to show you the texture of each of these. So you see it's kind of like jelly. I don't know if you can see that there. So that's the consistency of that. And it's very clear. It doesn't show up like white onto your hair. If you put a lot like me, you might see it, but you're going to end up washing it out anyway. And remember, again, with pre-pooing, this is something that you do weekly or every other week, basically before you're about to shampoo your hair. And so now with this one, this is Tora Amor, this brand. You can see it. It's her Upbeat Duo collection. And so, excuse me, the key ingredients in this product is aloe leaf extract, sharia butter, apricot seed oil, neem oil, castor oil, radish seed extract, and olive oil. So a lot of good oils in there. Definitely something that your hair is going to love. And if you struggle with moisture or dry hair or maintaining that moisture in your hair, that is another reason why the pre-pooing is important, and making sure that there are good ingredients in the pre-poo product that you are using. So this does have a gritty texture. Don't be alarmed by it. I kind of think it's like beads of moisture, because once you kind of get it into your hair, it melts and it stays down. And again, you are washing this out. But this is, I kind of just put that as a disclaimer because it does have a little texture to it, but it's because it has like beads of goodness in it. This is to ensure, again, that the moisture goes back into your hair. The sharia butter contains oleic and linoleic and stearic acid. I'm trying to work on my pronunciations, but these are good ingredients that help to nourish your hair. It also has properties that help prevent breakage and aids in hair growth. Breakage is a big thing, especially when your hair is being manipulated throughout the week. You want to make sure that you are, again, adding that moisture back in so that you don't have, parts of your hair where it's short in one area, especially from the root. That breakage is not fun. So that ingredient is definitely great to have into your hair. The radish seed extract helps to soothe follicles on your hair. So sometimes when you run your finger down the strand of your hair, it feels a little rough or raised. That ingredient helps to smooth it out so that your hair is, not as frizzy and it's as smooth as possible. Yeah, and then I pretty much just added that the smell of this is really amazing. It smells super sweet. I love. It's definitely great for summertime, and I think that's usually around the time that she has it out. But I just want to show you real quick the texture of this, and I'll get a little bit of the grittiness. So you can see that there, and it also is clear, but you can see that oil and that moisture that's going back into your hair. Now, of course, if your hair is more on the finer side and it's not as thick, you want to be careful with a product like this because it does have a lot of oils and you don't want to weigh your hair down. So again, it depends on what your hair needs are. And if you are more on the finer side, the fenugreek one from Nature's Little Secret will probably be good because it's giving the moisture back, but it's not too much where it's suffocating your hair. So this is definitely for my thick hair chick girls. This is a really good product to use. And, we don't waste. Getting all of that back into my hair. And let me just check out your guys' comments real quick. Do you think someone with low porosity would have an issue with fenugreek since it's a protein, or is it okay to use often since it's just pre-poo? It's interesting. I didn't think of it as being a protein. When I've done research on fenugreek itself, it seems like it has more so nourishing properties and more of being an anti-inflammatory for your scalp. I am protein sensitive. Like my hair does not get down with the protein and I have to be very careful, and I'm low porosity as well. So I haven't had any issues with it. I think it's because it's a pre-poo, you might be okay because it's really just detangling and taking care of your hair prior to shampooing. So I don't think you should have a problem. But again, everyone's hair is different and it may react to it differently. But someone like me, since I do kind of suffer from protein sensitivity and I'm low porosity, I haven't had any issues with it at all. I used NLS for the first time this weekend and my hair was so happy. I'm telling you, I really, that product I have seen across the board. So many different textures, so many different curl patterns. People love it and it's great. So I really think that it's definitely a great pre-poo to use. We'll be pre-pooing from now on. Yes, Teresa, you know it. It's such a vital part of your hair routine. I think it's something that we kind of miss sometimes. It is an extra step, but you see the results and it's great. So this is another one that's great. And like I said, this is good for especially thicker hair types, getting that moisture back. But if you do have finer hair, just be very not too ginger with it. Just take a little bit at a time. You may not need as much. Someone like me with all this hair, woo, I can go through this. Yes, Prepoo is a game changer, guys. So now let's move on to the third and final Prepoo product that I just recently bought on Amazon. I wanted to use it first before I talk to you guys about it. And that's why I didn't have this live the week after the shampoo, because I wanted to try this product specifically. And also, if you are a gray hair person, I used this on my mom's hair and she loved it and her hair loved it. So this is also very friendly for gray hair beauties. So this one in particular, let me find it here. It is My African Pride Aloe and Coconut Pre-Shampoo. And again, you can use this weekly. The key ingredients in this product is aloe leaf extract, glycerin, and coconut fruit juice. Let me tell you, this smells like a whole drink, a whole island and everything. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. And you can see the consistency here. It's very like Jello, but it's very, I don't know if I can show you. I'm so bad at like describing, even though it's interesting. I could describe food, but products, it's hard. But again, another clear product. It's not tinted. Your hair won't, especially for if you have gray hair, your hair won't be affected by that. And it's very, the slip. This and the fenugreek, the slip is crazy. Like it's going to be like all up in there. And what I like about this too is it kind of, both of those products, the fenugreek and this one, it gives kind of like a shampoo-y kind of feel, like kind of a lather a little bit. So it feels like you are doing that pre-shampooing, that pre-poo right beforehand. So let's get into these ingredients. This is a part of their Miracle Moisture line, which, it is Miracle Moisture. My hair is like revived after being so dry. It just brings everything back. The biggest focus, though, on this product is the aloe and the coconut water. These two ingredients help to condition your hair. It aids in melting down tangles, and it leaves your hair soft and bouncy. I'm going to be editing a video on showing just like how that product in particular, when I added it to my hair, it was like, I just felt like my curls were so happy. It was like, ooh, all this moisture. It was taking it all in, and the curl poppage was just crazy. Like I felt like it could be a product. Like you can use this for a wash and go. And y'all know I'm not a wash and go person. So this was just really amazing to use. I really love it. So those are like my top products for pre-pooing. And especially if you have thick, coily hair, I think it's even more important to pre-poo because our hair just gets tangled and matted and it just can be quite the workout. So help yourself, help your hair. And this also helps you to be able to just take care of your hair better. You're more gentle. You're not just kind of running up in the shower, let's wash this hair. No, let's take a minute, let's section our hair, detangle it. And anything to aid in detangling is a good thing because it can get real when it comes to the combs and the brushes. These products actually, I want to say more so the African Pride and the fenugreek, you will not need a comb, barely. Like if anything, if you want to, after you apply it and finger detangle and you just want to get like your ends, you don't need it. Like this is great in detangling. So That's huge. That is big, big, big. Let me see. That is one of my questions. Which of these products do you use when dyeing your mother's hair? I don't dye my mom's hair. She's completely gray. So she's dye free. Oh, doing okay. Because I was gonna say, oh no, we're not dyeing that mama's hair. What products do I use? Okay, so that would have to probably be like a separate video and showing what products I use specifically. My sister, Naturally Graceful, who's in this chat, she has a live when it was me and my mom on her page, and we were actually talking about the specific products that she used for her, or that I use for her hair, especially with gray hair, because it can get a little interesting. And my sister has a lot of valuable information in helping with the gray hair aspect. And also, I have curl education classes. I'll be touching on this later in the live too, but just so it's on a one-on-one, experience to talk about certain products that you can use in your hair specifically that'll help, because I know it can be very tricky with gray hair. Most products have some type of color to it, and it just takes, and that could be frustrating, especially if you're just starting off with a Prepoo. You want to be careful with what you use. But what I used in my mom's hair as far as the Prepoo, I used the African Pride Aloe and Coconut Pre-Shampoo, and her hair loved it. So if it's out of those three, I would definitely say that this is a good one for gray hair. All right, so now let's move on to clays. Exciting. So like I mentioned before, when it comes to clays, it's a reset for your hair and can also be used as a Prepoo every 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm going to break down these clays, because there's some that I use that could more than likely be used weekly, but I'm going to explain why you probably shouldn't. So let's get down to it. First and foremost, I'm going to touch on the clay that you use every 4 to 6 weeks. And that's going to be the Rasul clay. I don't have the label on here because she actually was running out of her labels. So this is from Fortified Naturals. She is on Instagram as well if you want to check out her brand. But Fortified Naturals is the name of this brand, and she sells Moroccan Rasul clay. So with this clay, it's 100% Moroccan Rasul clay. So there's no other clays, no other ingredients. It's just that itself. And so with this clay, I feel like it's a spa day for my hair. Like it literally, like I said, it revives it. It gets that product buildup. My scalp feels nice and just rejuvenated, and my curls are so much shinier. But let's talk about the benefits with this versus bentonite clay. This clay clarifies, but it also moisturizes and conditions your hair at the same time. So even though it's clarifying and it might strip those oils and whatever product buildup is there, the ingredients also bring back the moisture. So it's moisturizing while it's clarifying. It also strengthens your hair, thickens your strands. Who doesn't want thicker hair? And it promotes hair growth and improves the elasticity of your curls. You always want something that's going to help kind of, your curls to stay in its spiral formation, to keep the shrinkage there, because the shrinkage is a good thing. So something that helps with that. And also promoting hair growth. Who doesn't want that? And also not focusing so much on, oh yeah, clay is what's going to make my hair grow. It's not so much that. It's you're clarifying your scalp. You're getting that buildup off so that your hair can grow. So looking at it from that perspective, because sometimes we're just like, oh yeah, I need this. My hair's going to grow from it. But understand what it's doing to help your hair to grow. So major, major key every 4 to 6 weeks to do this. And also the things that I add in here, I'm going to be talking about that in another live as far as herbal teas and hair teas, because I use that instead of water. And also I do apple cider vinegar and mix that up, and you're good to go. Something that I had spoken about too in my curl class yesterday was with gray hair. I use this on my mom's hair, and it helps with the gray. Like her hair just looks so rejuvenated. And again, it's removing the product buildup. And that's usually what's causing that yellowing on your gray hair. So another great thing to add into your regimen. But remember, not doing it so often. Don't do it weekly, every 4 to 6 weeks. Now, again, you don't have to do it 4 weeks. You don't have to do it 6 weeks. You kind of just see within that time frame, okay, is my hair drier than normal? Does it look like it's discoloring or whatever? You kind of gauge between that time frame when you want to do it. So definitely love some of that. Now let's get into the clays that are great to use in between. Now, the reason why I wouldn't say to use this weekly is because, or I wouldn't say that this is something that you use as a reset, like the plain clay, is because these contain shea butter in it. So it's moisturizing your hair, which is great to use. But again, it has certain ingredients in there that can cause buildup over time. So these are great clays to use. Like say 1 week, I'll use shampoo. Then the following week, instead of shampoo, I use this because it has ingredients in there that are clarifying, but it's also moisturizing my hair at the same time. So these are good clays to use like every other week. If you do want to use it weekly, that's fine. But again, you do want to incorporate shampoo at some point. You do want to make sure you are clarifying your scalp and resetting your curls. So just kind of going in a rotation of things, but just wanted to make that point because sometimes we want to use this instead of that because it's already mixed, but you do have some ingredients in here that can be heavy on the hair. Now, if you do have finer hair, being careful with this too because it is very heavy. This is definitely geared towards more people who have thicker, coily hair. If you do have finer hair, this is fine to use, but maybe not egging on a lot of the product, just so you don't have, your hair is not over moisturized and then it comes out very lymph. So the first one I'm going to talk about is this is all from the brand Chocolate Kinks and Curls. Love this brand so much. And I have about 4 clays from her line. She has another one on here, or another one that she came out with that I don't have, but these are the ones that I've personally tried and that I like. Actually, one of them I haven't tried yet, but the ingredients, the reason why I bought it is for the ingredients, and we're going to talk about that. So the first one I'm going to go into is the Cocoa Cream Clay Wash, which contains bentonite clay. So again, we talked about how Rasul clay is more on the moisturizing side. This is going to definitely be more on the clarifying side. However, because it has shea butter, it's still going to be a little more moisturizing than if you use bentonite clay on its own. So this has a little bit of liquid in it, so I'm not going to bring it by my keyboard, but that's the consistency of it. It's kind of like, it's very thick, that's for sure. So you want to make sure when you grab it, really work it into your hands, and so that way it can really get into your hair. So with this product, the main focus or the main function of it is to remove toxins and product buildup. It helps to reduce frizz. It helps with those who have flaky scalp and also seborrheic dermatitis. And since the bentonite clay is clarifying, like I said, the shea butter is kind of helps to put back that moisture and nourishes your strands. And again, you can even use this as a pre-poo. So say, for instance, you don't want to use the fenugreek, but you're like, you know what, I have this clay. You know, you just want to prep your hair, detangle it, and use something that's good for your hair and nourishing. This is definitely good for a pre-poo. So you would do this first, let it sit for a little bit, and remembering with pre-poo to let it sit for at least 25 minutes because you want it to sink into your hair. It's kind of pointless if you just put it through and then you're running up in the shower to rinse it out. So you want to let it sit for at least 25 minutes. Now, this is definitely not something that I would say put in your hair overnight. This is definitely something you do prior to shampooing, and then you're ready to go in the shower. Now, with these other pre-poos, for the fenugreek, for the Tora Amor, and the African Pride, I have done the night before and then rinse it out the next morning. It is safe to do that. So with certain products, you can leave in overnight, but it all depends on your hair needs. If you do want that extra moisture, then it would be valuable to do the night before. But with this product itself, don't do it night before. Don't do that. So it can either be you use this like in replacement of a shampoo 1 week. I wouldn't replace your shampoo all the time because shampoo is necessary. Or you can use it as a pre-poo. So this is the bentonite clay one. The next one is going to be the Rasul clay. And so this one is more on the red side. This is a brand new one that I have not used yet. Like, I have so many products that I need to use, but this is the color of it. It's more on the the reddish side. So it's kind of like the clay. When you mix it up, it becomes a color like that. And so this has the same thing. It is also, where did I put it? Oh, I guess I forgot to write down my Rasul one, but it's the same thing. Same thing as the shea butter. It has the same ingredients with the shea butter in it, but it has Rasul clay. So this is definitely like super moisturizing. It also is going to help removing the buildup. The same concept as you can use it for a Prepoo, and you can also use it like every now and again and replace it to a shampoo. But again, like I said, you want to make sure that you incorporate shampoo at some point in your wash week. So the bentonite and the Rasul are somewhat similar. It's just their functions are different. The bentonite is going to focus more on removing the toxins, but the Rasul clay is going to do the same but moisturize your hair in addition to. Let me see if there's any other comments. Will you have all of these links and items? I was not able to write them all down. So I'm going to be talking about that soon towards the end of this live. My scalp doesn't feel clean when I use chocolate Kingston curls. Okay, and that could be because it is a very heavy product. It has shea butter in it. And so that's where, I want to make sure you guys know that this is something that can probably be geared more toward a Prepoo versus like in a replacement of a shampoo, because I feel shampoo is so vital to washing your hair, because that's what's really going to take that product buildup off. So everyone's different. Some people might feel that it helps removing the toxins or removing the product buildup where their scalp may feel clean, but shampoo ultimately is definitely something that you want to use. And so again, shampoos are a whole nother thing. And that's where I talked about in the previous live. There are some that are a little bit more clarifying, and then there are some that are more moisturizing. So if one week you realize, you know what, my scalp really needs some TLC, you're going to use a shampoo that is going to dig deep into your scalp. And so you kind of have to differentiate what your hair needs for that wash week. So now the next clay I'm going to talk about is the green clay and mint. So this has French green clay, matcha, and peppermint. The French green clay is going to remove product buildup. It aids in a healthy scalp. The matcha is high in vitamin B, rich in antioxidants, which is really going to improve the strength of your hair. And also it helps to decrease in split ends, which is another important thing too. Definitely working this on the ends of your hair is going to be beneficial. And the peppermint oil obviously is it's a soothing agent. It helps your scalp with blood circulation, and the consistency is smooth. This is definitely more of a smoother clay out of her other clays. And so just to show you what that looks like, this is more of a darker clay once it's mixed up. I have not used this on my mom's hair yet. As far as gray hair, I don't know how this would work with tinting, but I have used the bentonite clay on her hair with the chocolate Kingston curls, and it's been okay because it's more on the lighter side. So if you are going to try the clay, the bentonite is probably better for gray hair. And so the last one of the clays is going to be the red clay and hibiscus. And so I'll show you what that one looks like. Ooh. So this has like more of a reddish pink kind of color. Again, not sure how this works on gray hair because I have not tried it on my mom's hair yet, but you want to be careful with anything that has, kind of color to it. But as far as the key ingredients in this is hibiscus, marshmallow root, red clay, shikakai powder, love shikakai powder, and beetroot powder. So the red clay is almost as similar as Rasul clay. It helps in deep cleaning your hair while moisturizing and conditioning it. It detoxes your hair from excess oils without stripping it. The shikakai powder is, again, my personal favorite. It helps in reducing frizz, it treats dandruff, and it helps to retain length. The hibiscus helps to strengthen your hair as well, prevent hair loss, and promotes thicker hair, and it helps with itchy scalp. So this is really packed with some really great ingredients in it. Again, you can use this as a Prepoo. You can use this instead of a shampoo 1 week for 1 week. Like I said, I would not encourage skipping out on shampoo. It's really important. And so if you want to include a clay in your hair as a Prepoo or in your regimen at all, I would say using it as as that. But some people have used this in replacement to that. So it's not a bad thing, but you have to make sure you get any product buildup off your hair. That's important. Let me see. Hey, Tev, how are you? Thank you, girl. Yeah, my hair it's talking because it's working on 2 weeks with my hair. What's my favorite shampoo? So that's actually in a previous live. If you check out my channel, I talked about my favorite shampoos for natural hair. So it's on there, and I discuss all my favorite shampoos. And there's also a little link in there with the PDF. If you sign up, you'll get a PDF of the written form of the shampoos. So I'm going to talk about the scalp exfoliants. Then we're going to get into the curl education classes and also how you can get this information that I'll be talking about in this live and the future ones to come. So with scalp exfoliants, like I mentioned before, it's great for lifting that dead skin off of your scalp if you suffer from any scalp conditions. And again, it aids in hair growth because you are helping your scalp to be healthy and for your hair to be able to be free and grow. So the one scalp exfoliant, I only have one that I've tried, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. I know of another one, but I didn't try it personally, and I don't want to talk about something that I've never tried. So the one scalp exfoliant that I love, and I don't have with me because I finished it, but it's from Pardo Naturals. Her exfoliating, it's a foaming exfoliating scrub. And this is something that I wouldn't say use weekly, maybe bi-weekly, because you don't want to cause too much irritation to your scalp. Or you might use it once a month. You have to gauge and see what works for you. But the key ingredients in that product is white sugar, bentonite clay, and essential oils. So it's very simple, but it's packed with good ingredients. The exfoliating scrub is kind of like a pre-shampoo. It had like a lather to it as well, which I liked. It helped in, again, removing that product buildup. And the essential oils are there to help aid in moisturizing your scalp, because when you do a scalp exfoliant, it's going to be dry. And so you need those essential oils to kind of help soothe and moisturize your scalp so it's not like red and like super inflamed and irritated. So it's important to have those essential oils in there. So that's one of the scalp exfoliants that I've used personally and that I would recommend because I enjoyed using it. So let's talk more about how you can get this information, because I know that's something that is on your guys' mind. Obviously, for one, this live is going to be on my page indefinitely, so you can take a look at it. But I will be creating an ebook on my website, naturallyla.com, that I'm working on for people to purchase so that they can have this information to refer back to constantly. As far as my recommendations in the products, it'll have the key ingredients. That's basically what I'm reading from. I did my research and wrote things out so that I can be able to shed light on it to you. But to have it in written form and all of that, I'll be working on an ebook of basically all my lives that I'll be having on here. So whether it be the shampoos, prepoos, clays, essential oils that I recommend, deep conditioners, all of that. So I'll be working on that for you guys to be able to have for your own personal use. But what I do have, if you did check out my live from the shampoos, there is a free PDF of my favorite shampoos, just so you can get a feel of what the ebook would look like. So that you can purchase. Well, you don't have to purchase, but you just sign up for my newsletter and then it just brings you to the PDF. So you can check out that live, and the link is in the description box. And I'll try to link that in here too, so that you guys can just go straight to it. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that, because I know it is a lot of information to take in, and writing it down and understanding it. So I'm going to be working on that so you can refer back to. And so this kind of segues into the curl education classes, right? So, these lives I'm doing to be informational or educational for you, so that okay, these are the products that I use. This is what's helped me. And then I know that can help you in your hair care journey, because it never stops. We have to take care of our hair constantly, and we always have to make adjustments and changes. And so I'm speaking to you like this, but there's nothing like a one-on-one experience where you can express, like the live chat, I can get to it as far as questions are concerned, but to have that one-on-one experience where you can ask me questions on, okay, this is what I'm using. These are the ingredients in here. This is how my hair is reacting. What should I do different? Or how should I, take care of my hair in this way or that way. We sit down and we talk about creating a regimen that works for you, for your pace, for your schedule, but making sure it's important that you do allot that time for yourself, because taking care of your hair, that's the way it's going to flourish. There's no, cutting corners with it. And, when you see the results, you get addicted to those results and it motivates you to continue. And so I have two different curl classes. There's curl education, where we talk about porosity, texture, product recommendations, and, creating the regimen. And then you have a 30-day follow-up afterwards, where I'll check in with you. We do a 20-minute call. How you doing? How did the new tips work? Is there anything that you adjusted? And then if you still feel like you need help, you're more than welcome to book another class, and so we can get more in depth again about where you're at with your routine. And so then the second class would be, if you have a wash day and you want to learn how to perfect your twist outs or learn how to flat twist, I can definitely aid in that. I am not a big wash and go person. I'm not as skilled in that respect, but I think it's all about technique, really, and how to layer your products, how to moisturize your hair, and what products to use based on your porosity, your texture. That is the biggest thing that you need to know. When you know that, everything else follows. So that's also available. I have that in my description. The link to the classes that has, the description of what's involved and how you can book your class. So I have found that a lot of people have benefited from, taking it. Again, you have that one-on-one experience. You can ask your unlimited amount of questions in that moment, and be able to evaluate how we can really, or how you can really master taking care of your hair. So that's my passion and wanting to help you. It's a step further to my tutorials. It's a step further to my lives, because it's helping you on a more personal level. So, these lives in general are great because I'm able to kind of give you a little snippet of what that would involve. But I think it's important in talking about what is needed in taking care of your hair. So the floor is now open if you do have any questions, though, because I pretty much finished in showing you guys what my favorite Prepoos, exfoliants, and clays are. So if you do have any questions, guys, you are more than welcome to ask them now. While I catch my breath and take a sip of water. Don't be shy, I don't bite. So if you guys have any questions, if you don't, then I'll leave it here. But if you do, I'll give you guys a few minutes. No questions? I'll give you a minute because some people don't type as fast as I do. Have you used kaolin clay? Yes, I have. Not on its own, though. Kaolin clay is something that I was introduced to in a shampoo bar. That's also another clay that's great for any scalp conditions. I talked about kaolin clay actually in the shampoo live that I talked about, because it was a shampoo bar that I used from Earthborn Organics that had kaolin clay in it. That's the only way that I've actually used that clay. It was incorporated in a shampoo. The clay on its own, I don't think that there's anything wrong with it, but even I'm going to actually be talking about herbs in deep conditioners. That's going to be the next live I'm going to be talking about, is herbs and deep conditioners. That's going to be the next discussion. Incorporating herbs in your deep conditioning treatment and how that can be definitely be very beneficial to your hair, in addition to whatever ingredients are in your deep conditioner. I hope that answered your question as far as the kaolin clay is concerned. I'm trying to see if I have that PDF up to basically let you know. But let's talk about that briefly. Which Prepoo clay is best for high porosity? Okay, one second. Okay, so just briefly, just to touch on the kaolin clay before I move on to that, Susan. So the kaolin clay, um, well, they're talking more so about how it's good for your skin. Um, what is it? Okay, so the same thing. Most of these clays kind of aid in removing product buildup in dirt from your scalp and your hair, but it doesn't strip it like a shampoo would. It gently cleanses your scalp and it also increases circulation. So again, when you have that circulation in your scalp, then it aids in the hair growth as well. So kaolin clay is definitely great to use in your hair. I don't think that there's anything bad with using it on its own. Um, if you mix it like with some, whether you use water or tea, like a herbal hair tea and apple cider vinegar, and create like a mask for your hair, it's definitely beneficial. There's definitely no bad things in using that. So now let's the question about the Prepoo for high porosity. So basically, when it comes to the high porosity, that's really going that really only aids in how your hair accepts the moisture. I wouldn't say that any of these prepoos are good or bad for, or better for high porosity, because high porosity hair is pretty much gonna drink up whatever you put in it anyway. But you do want to use something that's a little bit more thinner in consistency, so it can get through to your hair, especially for low porosity. For low porosity, my biggest recommendation would be for the aloe and coconut water, because it's just usually when I had to pre-poo my hair, I would have to spray water, then put it. But with these, I don't need any water in my hair. It has all the juiciness in it. So I would say that this is equally beneficial for high porosity and low porosity. I don't feel like one is better than the other. But it's just a matter of how your hair takes it all in and the ingredients that are in it that's going to help keep the moisture in. So my mom has high porosity and I use the African Pride one. So that one definitely is punched with a lot of moisture in it. So if you really need that, I would say the African Pride is definitely a good one to use. Okay, any other questions? You're welcome, Susan. And Teresa, I'm glad we answered all your questions. She is a perfect testimony here. She had her curl class yesterday, and it was awesome. If you follow me on my Instagram, I put previews to my classes, whether it be makeup classes or the curl education classes. I'll be putting previews to those in the upcoming week, so you guys can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Because sometimes, we hear things and we're like, oh, well, what does that involve? What does that look like? So I'll be able to show you guys the vibe of how that works on my Instagram. Because I only do about 2 to 3 minute snippets, I don't put it on my YouTube because it's kind of it's not very long. But maybe I will, so you guys can check it out too. Because I know some of you aren't on Instagram, some of you are just on YouTube. So I'll think about adding that if you guys need to see a preview at all. So any other questions before we wrap this up? I'll give you guys a second. If not, then we'll just wrap this all up with closing comments. Facebook. So yeah, if you follow me on my Instagram, when I post on my Instagram, it automatically goes to my Facebook business page too. So if you follow me on my Facebook page, then you'll see it as well. So you'll be able to see it, Susan. Susan, have you seen my makeup class previews? Because if you've seen my makeup class previews, then you'll be able to see the curl class preview once I upload that too. Because I know it's, having so many social medias, you kind of just want to stick to one. But some people have either Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or have all three. But I want to be able to cater to all of you so that you can see how it actually goes down. So, but if you guys don't have any more questions, again, be on the lookout for my next live. It will be discussing deep conditioners and herbs. And then after that, I'll be talking about oils that I like, oils and butters. I'll actually be talking about herbal, like hair teas, deep conditioners, and herbs in my next one. So, okay, you saw the clips of the makeup. So yeah. So if you follow me on my Facebook page, then you'll see it there too. So I'll be working on that. Also, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter on my website. I'll have those links in the description so you guys can check out. If anyone who missed the actual live stream, it's totally fine. It'll be on replay. It'll be on my page so that you can look at. But I'll be working on an ebook with all the information that we discuss specifically in these lives for you guys to purchase. So I'll be working on that, and I'll let you guys know once I finish the last series of this product recommendations for natural hair. I'll let you know when it's finished and when you guys can check it out. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and always keeping it live and always keeping it informational. I love the questions. It helps me out a lot so I know what to bring to the table for you guys. And if you need that one-on-one experience, book you a class. It really is beneficial. And, like I said, a lot of people have found it rewarding. And, I'm not able to I don't miss your questions. We can talk about it one-on-one. And it really is just a great avenue to have so that you can take better care of your hair. So it's been great being with you guys. I'll see you guys on my next one. I'm not sure if I'll be doing it next week or the week after, but just make sure that you're subscribed and you'll get the notification. And I'll also have the preview up at least a few days to a week before so that you can set a reminder and know when I'll be on here. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Please continue to be safe out there with everything that's going on. Stay positive, and there's always something good to think about. Positive things to think about. So I'll see you guys in my next live, and thank you so much again. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.